Hello all, welcome back to the YouTube channel of St. Joseph's St. Joseph's College of Arts and Science, Autonomous Cuddalore. Last class we have seen the income tax law and practice on basic concepts. What are the basic concepts which was followed by the income tax department of our country? Today we are going to continue with the income tax law and practice. Today we are going to see about the residential status of an individual. By this is Dr. R. Rajkumar, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, Bank Management, St. Joseph's College of Arts and Science, Autonomous, Cuddalore. Residential status has been split into 5 parts, 5 divisions: individual, into undivided family, a company, a firm, and other persons. Other person has been aligned to the left side. Today we are going to see about the individuals. Individual is a person. One who pays a tax is an assessee, and that person has been whether he have fulfilled or satisfied the conditions which was given by the income tax department of our country. If it is going to be individual, he has to be resident or non-resident. Once he has fulfills or once who satisfies the conditions which was given by the income tax department is known as resident. If it is going to be a resident, then we have to find out whether he is going to be an ordinary resident or not ordinary resident with the conditions. If he doesn't fulfill any of the or satisfy any of the conditions which was given by the income tax department, is a non-resident. Now we are going to see about the individual. What are the conditions was given? 2 type of conditions are given by the income tax department for an individual to be a resident: basic conditions and additional condition. Basic condition, what do you mean by basic condition? An individual is said to be a resident in India if he fulfills any one of the basic condition. There are 2 basic conditions were given or stated by the income tax department of our country. In that 2 basic conditions, any one of the condition, if an individual is going to satisfy or fulfill any one of the basic conditions, is going to be a resident of India. To be a resident of India, an individual should have stayed in India for a period of 182 days or more during the relevant previous year. We know what is an assessment year and what is a previous year. In the last session we have discussed about we have seen about the assessment year and the previous year. If this is going to be a current year, if it is going to be a assessment year, means the resident should have stayed in India for a period of 182 days or more in the relevant previous year. If he didn't have, if individual does not fulfill or satisfies the basic condition 1, means he has to go for a basic condition 2. An individual should have stayed in India for a period of 60 days or more during the relevant previous year. In first basic condition, we had only one category: 82 days or more during the previous year, the individual should have been stayed. In the second basic condition, there are 2 parts are there: 60 days or more during the previous year and 365 days or more during the 4 preceding previous years. Years should come. 4 preceding previous year, before the previous year, before the relevant previous year, 4 years has been considered. In the among that 4 previous years, he has to be stayed in India for the 365 days or more in India. If an individual has fulfills any one of these basic conditions, he will be called as a resident. If an individual have been fulfilled or any satisfied any one of the basic condition, he becomes a resident. If an individual does not fulfills or satisfy both the basic conditions, he will be called as a non-resident of India. He is out of the box now. If an individual, I repeat again, if an individual is said to be a resident, he has to fulfill any one of the basic conditions which was given by the Income Tax Department. He has to be stayed in India for a period of 182 days or more during the relevant previous year, or any individual, he has to be stayed in India for a period of 60 days or more during the relevant previous years, and 365 days or more during the 4 preceding previous years. Any one of the conditions should be fulfilled, then he should be a resident. Next, we are going to see whether a resident, how a resident should be, individual should be a ordinary resident or not ordinary resident, by having a additional condition. Once an individual, if he fulfills any one of the basic condition, he will be called as a resident. Next step, we have to find out whether he is an ordinary resident or not ordinary resident. Additional conditions: any individual will be a resident or ordinary resident if he fulfills both the following additional conditions. He has been resident in India at least 2 out of 10 previous years immediately preceding the relevant previous year. Immediately preceding the relevant previous year, we are going to take 10 previous years. Out of that 10 previous years, the resident should be stayed in India at least 2 years. At least 2 years. And in basic conditions, we have given 2 conditions. Any one should be fulfilled, then he becomes a resident. But in additional condition, whether it is going to be ordinary resident or not ordinary resident, we have to fulfill both the conditions. In the second one, he has been in India for a period of 730 days or more during the 7 years immediately preceding the relevant previous years. Before the previous years, preceding the previous years, 7 years has been considered. Out of 7 years, 730 days or more should be taken for consideration. He has to be stayed in India for 730 days. Then he will be considered. Here, the additional conditions should be fulfilled or satisfied by an individual. Both the conditions should be fulfilled. Then only we will be considered as a resident with ordinary resident of India. If a person, individual, fulfills any one basic condition, he becomes a resident, and both the additional conditions, he will be called as a resident with ordinary resident. For instance, if an individual fulfills any one of the basic condition, he becomes a resident, and any one of the additional condition, then he will be called as a resident but not ordinary resident. I hope you will be clear with the conditions which was given by the Income Tax Department. If the individual does not fulfills any one of the basic condition, he becomes a non-resident of India and is go out of the box. I hope you understand what are the residential status and what are the conditions which was made by the Income Tax Department of our country. Next class, we will see about the salaries, what are the 5 heads of income: salaries, house property, business or profession, capital gains, and other sources. Thank you.